I personally feel implicated by a strategy that I do disagree with. Or do you think, well, I'm doing the right thing, so everything I do should reflect beautifully on everyone who works at the TYT?
The fallout from progressives and the left continues for Cenk Uygur and the Young Turks. We're going to take a look at this clip from Cenk Uygur's appearance on Francesca Fiorentini's The Bitchuation Room. And I'd like to know, let me know in the comments, what you think. Are Anna, Kasparian, and Cenk Uygur's views implicating the other hosts on TYT like Francesca Fiorentini?
See, this is a way of getting me, like, saying, Cenk, you're out of bounds. You're implicating me in a strategy I don't agree with. Well, but what am I supposed to do? Not do the strategy I believe in? Because it might implicate people on the network?
I think I'm asking for empathy. I'm just asking for empathy, Cenk. It's just being a little empathetic.
No, I don't think that's about empathy. I think what you guys are asking for, and this is why I'm not on the far left, is you're saying, since we don't agree with your strategy and your strategy implicates us, if you were empathetic and a good person, you wouldn't do your strategy. And I don't agree. I think my strategy is way better and will protect all of us much better. And so I'm not going to purposely do the wrong strategy because it implicates people on the far left. If you say, hey, I'm so implicated, I'm going to leave. This is unconscionable to me, as some did. Great. I got no problems with it. Everybody makes their own choices, but I'm not pushing anybody out. You get this. Everybody gets to stay. Everybody gets to have their own opinion. They get to have it passionately. They get to fight me on it. They get to fight everyone on it. They get to make their case. I can't do any better than being super open-minded and allowing everybody to make their case. If you say, Cenk, you shouldn't make your case because some of us feel implicated by it, well, that's your problem, not my problem. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, about that, I'm reminded of the book by, I think his name is Michael Schneider, on tyranny. And he wrote, it's like 20 lessons from the 20th century about authoritarianism and fascism. And one of the things that has come to mind when you say, my strategy will protect us, is he has this chapter, I'm going to bring it up, the first part of it, called Do Not Obey in Advance. And he writes, most of the power of authoritarianism is freely given. In times like these, individuals think ahead about what a more repressive government will want and then offer themselves without being asked. A citizen who adapts in this way is teaching power what it can do. In other words, you don't have to do the sort of crackdown on the left around speech because I'm going to do it for you, or you don't have to come to me.
Down. Again, you're misstating it. I'm doing the exact opposite. You're cracking down by saying, Cenk, you're out of bounds, so you should stop with your stupid opinion. And because you're implicating me.
I feel like there's a real,
that's what you're saying.
Cenk, I feel like there's a real misunderstanding of power in your mind. And I don't know why.
I think you're hiding behind this power dynamic.
No. I'm being totally honest. I am a contributor to TYT that I go on every time you guys ask. I step in a pinch often. Sometimes I don't.
You do.
I've been asked less and less as of late. Jordan has sort of eclipsed me. It's fine. I don't give a shit. But like I am but a mere contributor. I make very little money from this show. I'm really grateful to the people who support it. Again, you have founded the TYT. You've been the head of TYT. You're one of a stalwart in broader progressive left of center media discussions. What you do is far more impactful than what I do. I'm just being honest with you.
Okay.
You have a huge footprint.
It's a good thing I have the right strategy.
And when you go on shows, and you go on stages, again with Charlie Kirk, it looks like an apology tour. You
you're wrong about it.
You implicate not just everyone who's worked with you and everyone who is ostensibly on your side, but it basically makes it seem like it cheapens everything that we've done and we've built. That's why I can't sleep at night. That's why I feel sick when I see you on these shows.
Nuts.
I'm just being, I guess I'm nuts. I guess I'm totally crazy and I should just trust you and say, yes, you're doing the right thing. You're protecting us.
No, you don't have to say
all
that.
I am doing is I'm filled with.
Francesca is a little bit passive aggressive with some of the things that she says here, I feel, but she also seems very sincere. And I think she's honestly hurt by what's going on with all of this. And I would have to think that there's going to be a split. Hopefully these last few weeks and her really speaking out now, I hope this has gotten her a lot of attention and will grow her channel more, because I think she really does a great job and she deserves to have a bigger following than what she has, in my opinion. But that head shake by Cenk is something else.
With absolute despondency, like truly. And I can't believe that a guy who I used to admire and who I thought had a lot of fight is trying to scratch the back of people who absolutely would never do the same for them.
So we just spent an hour and a half me explaining how I'm not scratching their back. I'm trying to get
but I can show you more clips,
to agree with us on things we believe in and we've always believed in. And you go back to scratching their back.
At least the trains will run on time.
No. So let's end on this because this is monumentally important. So I say everybody's allowed to have their opinion. You say when I have my opinion, I'm hurting other people. But that's, do you, hold on.
You're hurting a broader movement, yeah.
Hold on. Do you not get that privileges your position and says my position is obviously the correct one and the moral one? And since you have the incorrect immoral one, you are implicating me in your immorality and your wrongness. So you really shouldn't do that, because that's being immoral to me and other people who agree with me, because since you're so obviously wrong and immoral about this, you're implicating me in your immorality.
With great power comes great responsibility. That's what I'm saying.
It is definitely the correct position.
I'm saying with great power comes great responsibility. I'm giving you...
I'm so accepting. But you got off the reservation and you've gone rogue, Cenk. So now it is your fault for implicating the beloved far left, who are clearly have the correct position. But you don't have the correct position. And you don't represent the left. So please stop pretending you represent the left when the voting and the polling clearly showed you don't. And it's not wrong to be center left. You think that it's like center left is like, no, it's, I don't know what you think it is, MAGA or whatever. But you want to talk about the power
dynamic. It's Bill Maher and Nancy Pelosi having a baby, Cenk. I think ultimately you just need to embrace your centrism, my guy. I think you're just more of a centrist than you think.
Like I just explained it, but you don't want to hear it. I said it earlier, Franny. I'm not talking about the disgusting centrism of Manchin and all of that the mainstream media lied to us and called centrism. That's radical.
What's wrong with Manchin? Manchin works with both sides. He's a perfect example of what you're doing.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. Manchin is the establishment. The fact that you can't see the difference between a left-wing populist who despises the establishment,
who's a right-wing populist,
who loves and is the establishment,
who's a right-wing populist,
you can't see that difference is stunning.
Who's a right-wing populist? Who is a right-wing populist? Name him. Who's a right-wing populist?
On Patrick Bet-David show is definitely a right-wing populist.
Vinny on Patrick Bet-David show is a maniac. The guy is a lunatic who says insane conspiracy theories. And anytime he goes on Piers Morgan's show or any other time I've seen him on Patrick Bet-David show, he always looks like he's just about to have a brain aneurysm because he's so red and veins popping out of his temples and his neck and everything. I can't stand Joe Manchin. I mean, Joe Manchin is terrible, but Joe Manchin is not as bad as Patrick, or not Patrick. I mean, he's not as bad as Patrick Bet-David, but he's not as bad as Vinny on Patrick Bet-David show. Joe Manchin is your standard corporatist Democrat who loves to bend over backwards to work with Republicans, but occasionally he sides with and works with Democrats as well. You're never going to see that from any of these far-right hosts. They wouldn't ever work with Democrats. So that's what I don't really quite get with all of this is, yes, the establishment is bad. Cenk is right that the establishment is terrible, and these Democrats like Joe Manchin are terrible, but what common ground is anybody on the left going to find with Vinny from Patrick Bet-David's show? It's just insanity. So what do you think about all this? Is Francesca Fiorentini just too far to the left? She doesn't see that you can sometimes work with the centrists in the Democratic Party. Is she wrong to be chastising Cenk for going on these shows, these far-right shows, or do you think there's something to what Cenk Uygur is saying, that these right-wing populists can somehow be reasoned with? The thing that I still don't understand is they don't seem to actually agree with any of Cenk's views in terms of raising taxes on the rich and raising taxes on corporation and Medicare for all and all this kind of stuff. He just thinks they're right about the quote-unquote far left being too pro-trans. And so that's fine in his mind. But do you see any evidence that any of these right-wing hosts actually agree with progressives on economic policies? I just don't see that. I don't understand where Cenk is coming from on this. But the civil war seems to be continuing on the left. Let me know what you think about all this in terms of what Francesca Fiorentini has to say here, about what Cenk Uygur has to say. Make sure to like and subscribe. This is Chris on Culture. I will see you in the next video.